Membership drive is over, the regions have been set, and the draft selection shows and drafts have been scheduled. All of this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. We apologize for a little bit of a delay tonight. Hey, first we'd like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. Unlike traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategies of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Ross says break a leg. Ross, I appreciate it. Hey, the tweet the tweet you just sent out was great. I liked it and retweeted it on my side. If you all get an opportunity, go out to FSA's Twitter page or to NCFF's Twitter page and check out the video that just got posted by Ross. It was great. Laughed at it. Possibly a little bit too much, which is why I was a little bit late coming in tonight. Brian Lewis on with us tonight. Doug Wolfanger on with us. I love you too, brother. Damian Gratz on with us. Man, I haven't seen you on for a while. Looks good. Empty Wagon. So our partners over in Empty Wagon, Brad, Josh, and Eric at the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast, they are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings and projections with a whole lot of comedy. This week's show was called the AFC South Breakdown. The guys broke down the best at each of the skilled positions for each one of the teams, and then they broke down the best skilled position across the entire division. And then for a bonus, just like they have for the last couple of weeks, they again did the Hitch Your Wagon. I was really surprised by Josh and Eric's Hitch Your Wagon this week. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. If you want to know who they're hitching their wagon to in the AFC South, make sure you go out and listen to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Go find them on Anchor at anchor.fm and subscribe to their show. Also follow them on all of their social media. You will find them at Empty Wagon FF. And thank you, Brad, Josh, and Eric, for everything that you do for FSA. Appreciate the plug this week, guys. Speaking of social media in the Empty Wagon FF, if you like us, there's all of our social media stuff down there, right there. There's our website. There's our Facebook page. You're already here, so you know what that is. Instagram, Twitter. There's our YouTube channel. Go out and subscribe to that, please. We did get one additional subscriber this week. Thank you very much to Toby for signing up for that. Appreciate you, brother. We are currently at 56 members for that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But for now, we're going to talk about membership. Membership is finally closed for the year. We reached 72 members, which is going to give us 6 regions of 12. We're going to show you what those region breakdowns look like here in just a second in the map of the whole globe, and then what it looks like in the breakdown of the regions on the MFL page. We're going to talk about both of those things a little bit. I said in a group message earlier on GroupMe, I was trying to do something a little bit different this week, and this is what you're about to see. We've kind of touched on this or teased with this when we've done our draft selection shows, but I didn't know to what extent that we could do it, and I'm hoping that this works out well for you, so we'll see it in just a second. Yes, we did get our 12, Maria, how are you? We did get our 12-team leagues, 72, not a bad number, not where we wanted to be, but I can't complain at all, especially with all of the things that are going on. What really surprises me, and I have all of you to thank for this, is whenever I do my mailing list for these seasons, I roll everybody from one year over to the next, right? So there's a 2019 FSA football mailing list in my Gmail contacts right now, and there's a 2020 FSA football email list. And the 2019 still has 33 members sitting back over in it. And that was after having 80 last year, and then we still made it up to 72 this year. So quick math tells me that we have roughly 25 new members this year. So I appreciate you all. I have all of you to thank for that, for pushing that out to your workers, co-workers, friends, family members. So I really, really appreciate that. So let's see if we can get this screen to share like I want to show you all. So what you all are seeing right now, let me know if you can see it okay, is the breakdown that I use on Google Maps to do the regional breakdown every single year. So I got it at this size right now so you can see where we are spanned across the globe. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, we've got the koalas in Australia. You can see that we have a member in Alaska, one in Washington, and you can see as far over on the right-hand side as our 2 members over in the Euro region, which is in the UK and over in Greece. What I want to go over is I want to kind of tell you how the 6 regions of 12 teams got developed. Let me zoom in a little bit more on the United States and see if I can explain that to you. So I was trying to figure out where is the best spot in the United States to start with, and I really wanted to try to do it in the South Atlantic region. And the reason I wanted to start there was because we had 18 teams there, and I knew that that region was going to have to be broken up, but it just wasn't working out for us. So what I ended up doing was I started up in the New England region, which is, for us, when we numerate these regions, that is region number 1 for us. We had 3 teams that we were tentatively putting in the Euro region. Of course, that was going to be our team that was in the UK, the team that was in Greece, and we were grouping our Australia member into that as well. When I really started looking at the globe and deciding where we needed to put players, I thought it would be smarter to move our Australian member over into the western part of all of these regions. So knowing that we had 2 members over in the Euro region, I started looking up in the New England area of the map up here. I'm going to zoom in as close as I can up here so you all can see this, and I'm going to scroll down here too so you can see the teams that ended up in the New England region. So what we ended up doing was taking this cluster of teams right here that's in the Massachusetts area, and then we went with the teams that were the 4 most northern teams after that, which included right here, Average Joe's here. John just let me know tonight, which is that dot right there, or is that Chris? Chris, we do have a logo for you. If you all get a chance, I'll show it to you in just a second. We have a logo for Chris already. And then over here in John, I was getting confused of where you 2 guys were at in that region. And I do have a team name for John. It is going to be the Assassins. I found out tonight. We're still working on a logo for him. So what we ended up taking was the 2 from the Euro region, this cluster right here, and those 4 most northern teams. And that became our New England region. And then we just continued working west from that. So I had quite a few requests from Bill Minot III, which I think he is on right now. He's calling it East Coast, Best Coast. He is right here with the Merman. And then again, we had another request from the Mad Scientist, which is Damian Scott over here in Clarksville, Tennessee, about trying to get as many players that they used to play with in other leagues or brought in for us this year, grouped together. So what we ended up doing was being able to combine their 2 wish lists and make this region, which we are ended up calling the Appalachian region. And let me find it over here on the spot on the left-hand side. So we have Bill the Third that is right here. He wanted to make sure that all of the people that he brought in for us this year end up playing with him. And that ended up being John Ronquillo, which used to be a sergeant major of the both of us. And even though he's out of Chicago right up here, I wanted to make sure that we got him in the region with Bill. So he has been pushed over into the Appalachian region, as is the Meyer Wolf, which are right here near Greensboro. The Nihilist, which is Kevin Butler, and he is over in California, which is why you don't see him right now. Lauren, which is actually a code worker with Bill the Third, and then Bill Jr., and if anybody knows anything, Bill Jr. is the father of Bill the Third, and he is down there near the Knoxville area. So we were able to accommodate all of his wishes. In conjunction with that, Damian Scott said that he wanted to make sure that he was playing against Carl and Dan right up here. Now, I know, and let me close that out. I don't want anybody to see that address. Apologize for that, Dan. And I know Dan is out here in this spot a little bit further out, but Damian wanted to make sure that they were playing against each other, so I added them. The rest of them are all people that would fall inside this region anyways, and if let's zoom in just a little bit and shift this map and kind of show you where each one of those are at. Ship huggers are actually up in Pennsylvania. The green arrow are over there in, I think that ends up being New Jersey or in Pennsylvania, just across the border from New Jersey. And I think that's it. Those are the only two teams that we needed to add into the Appalachian region to make that. So prior to us making all of these moves, we had this perfect little group of teams right here in the Great Lakes region that was going to be a group of 12. With us moving John Ronquillo out over into the Appalachian region, that left us one short, but worked good for us because the Evil Empire right here and Kevin Godwin did not want to play against his brother, who is the Golden Boys, right across the other side of the state from him. So what we ended up doing was taking all of the teams that you're going to see right here in the, where did I lose the Great Lakes to? Great Lakes region is right here. All of those teams that were right there, we moved John out and we moved the Golden Boys in, and we have our group for the Great Lakes. So that ended up giving us our three what we'll call northern type regions, and then we start sliding down into the South Atlantic area, which is where we had 18 teams prior to this whole makeup. So we knew we needed to break that up. So where did we go? We started out onto what normally is considered the Pac South. In this case, we're just calling it the West this year. And we started pulling teams from the West Coast and moving eastward. So what we ended up doing was grabbing our team that's out in Australia, our Alaska team, our Washington, the state team, and our one other team that is in California that's not the Nihilist, because remember, they're over in the Appalachian region, and we just kept continuing pushing east. We ended up grabbing our team from Colorado, our team from New Mexico, and then we had some decisions to make right here in what's normally our central and southwestern regions. And in this case, we ended up grabbing both the underdogs and the Wildcats and adding them into that west region. And then we broke this southwestern region up a little bit based on players who wanted to play against each other. That's the recast and the lady recast, because that is a husband and wife team, and they wanted to make sure that they played against each other this year. And Raphael Monhay and there he is, Anthony Monhay. They are father and son, and they wanted to make sure that they played against each other this year. And then aside from that, when we get ready to break down this Gulf Coast region, the Callis Galboys and his brother, which is the Vols, which is Matt Brown, did not want to play against each other this year, same as they did last year, so we split them up. Callis Galboys goes down here into the Pac South, and then we ended up putting Matt Brown in the Gulf Coast. That makes up our 12 there. So now when we look at the Gulf Coast region, which is a newly named region for us because we have not used them before, we took the rest of the remaining teams here in Texas, which ends up being the Warriors. Brady sits down to number 1, the Labradors, 99 Problems, the already mentioned Vols, and then Jared Bouthrop. And the reason Jared is here is because he is the son of his mother, who is the 99 Problems team, and they said that they wanted to play against each other this year, so we added them in the region together. So then the remaining teams all end up being in this coastal area here in Florida, which ends up being the Nature Coast Colonials, the Rum Runners, the Crab Island Hookers, the Hurricanes Football Club, the Inferno, and then one additional team that we needed to add to that, which wanted to make sure that they were opposite of somebody in the South Atlantic region, is the Psychedelic Seahorses. That made that group of 12 for the Gulf Coast, and then we scroll back up and we're looking at all of our South Atlantic teams that are left over here, the majority of which who played against each other last year. There are a few new teams in there, one being Maria. Maria, I don't know if you have decided what you're going to name your team yet or not. The Georgia She-Devils with Heather is there, Beast Mode, and I think, Ryan, you say that the Luminaries? You have to let me know how that's pronounced. And that makes up our 6-12 teams regions. Doug Neubauer again says, is there a we suck division so I have a chance not to be last? I think you actually are going to fall into the Great Lakes region this year, Doug. Last year, I think you ended up getting pushed into the Appalachian region. And no, I'm sorry, the Great Lakes region is probably one of the toughest regions that we have in the Alliance right now. Try again with 4x18 team leagues. I don't know if we want to do that or not. That sounds horrible, especially in a Superflex league. 4x18 sounds horrible. I don't know if we want to do that. Why would you want to do that even, Brian? Tell me why you would even want to do that. All right, so here's what the regions look like when you're actually on the website right now. So like I said, we normally numerate these leagues 1 through 16 as we've got them built for all of these years. New England Phoenix, of course, is our number 1 region. The Chris Franklin that I was speaking of earlier, he does have a logo. He is the Chris Betts. He has a blog that is out there by the same name. I wanted to make sure that we plug him a little bit. So if you would like to go out and read his blog, it is thechrisbetts.com. Make sure you go out and take a peek at that. And the next numeration for number 2 is usually the Mid-Atlantic, and we don't have it this year. Number 3 is normally the Great Lakes region. However, for me to make it easy on myself when I was rebuilding these regions, I ended up putting the Appalachian Black Bears as the second one this year because I would not have to rearrange a whole lot of stuff. As you can see what those look like by logos there. Here is our number 3 region, which falls into the number 3 spot this year and into the Great Lake Hydras. Now, I want to stop and I want to roll back up a little bit because a couple of you are probably going to ask in the next couple of weeks, hey, Commish, what are these little logos that are down here in the corner of the avatars that are on the team logos under the regions? So, a couple of years ago, we took nearly a whole season to create these ribbons that are considered awards, and they are fashioned after military type awards. And what we decided to do was put these ribbons on the avatar for teams, each one of them having a different meaning. I will have to get you all the entire list of what they look like. However, what you're seeing here on the Maniacs is he was the New England regional champ last year, and he gets to hold on to that logo for this season. Now, that is one of the awards that you are given, but when you're looking at the standings, will rotate every year because we're only going to show it on the person who won it from the previous season. So you see it there on the Maniacs. As we go down to the Appalachian region, and Bill the Third, if you're still out there with me, let me know. Bill the Third won it, the Appalachian region, I believe, last year. However, he was under a different team last year, which was called the Bourbon Boys. So I have to transpose that ribbon over here to his new brand, which is the Merman. And Bill, let me know if I'm correct on that. As we come down here to the Great Lakes Hydras, you're going to see a couple of other logos that are here. So you're going to see these gold stars there. The gold stars represent world champions for these teams. Each gold star represents a world championship. So the Killers have won 2. The Creek Dogs, who were also our winner last year, has won 2. And the Cavalry you see down here has the same purple logo as the other 2 teams. That is our Hall of Fame ribbon. These 3 were part of the group of 4 that were nominated into the Hall of Fame last year. And that Hall of Fame ribbon and these World Championship stars will forever be on their logos. It is a quick way for you to look at these avatars and know how these teams have done throughout their careers. In addition to the Creek Dogs winning the entire World Championship last year, he was also, of course, the Great Lakes Regional Champion. And I need to add his regional champion logo down here to the bottom. If you're looking at the South Atlantic region right now, you'll see the Southern Sirens was the South Atlantic Dragons regional champion last year, which is why she has that on there. The Gulf Coast Serpents is represented by 2 people who won their region last year, as Brady sits down to number 1, represented the Central region last year, and 99 Problems represented the Southwest region last year. They are both in the Gulf Coast Serpents region this year, so we have 2 regional champions that are there. You're also dealing with the Crab Island Hookers, who is a two-time champion. Not only is she a two-time champion, she is a back-to-back champion with those 2 stars. And then as we come down here to the west, I don't believe that anybody that was outside of those regions last year are still in the league, so you don't see any of those ribbons there on any of these teams. If you ever want to know what all of the awards look like in FSA, I'm going to give you a little bit of navigation of the MFL page tonight. We had actually talked about putting a MFL 101 together for you all, and it was going to be a very elaborate presentation on OBS, which is what you're watching us on tonight. Once I found out that I could do a shared screen with you all, though, I thought this was a better way to do it. So I'm going to show you some of the simple things that you should be looking for on MFL tonight. One of them is if you've played in MFL for a couple of years, whether it's with FSA or any of the other leagues, if you are logged in, you come under My Leagues, you will see a list of all of the leagues that you are a part of under MFL. All of these are the ones that I am the commissioner of right now, which is why you see this long list that is here. And also ones that I play in that I don't commission, like the NCFF League, which Ross Norris is actually the commissioner of. That is one spot that you want to frequent when you're on the MFL page. If you want to see all of those awards that I was just mentioning, though, if you go under reports and you go under records and then under league awards, you're going to see this awesome page that's going to come up like this. You're going to see all of the league awards that were given out in 2019, and you're going to see all of the awards that were given out in 2018. They are labeled. They will tell you who the franchise was that won that, and you'll see what that ribbon looks like as well. The reason you only see it go back so far as 2018 so far is because those are the only 2 years that we've been on MFL coming into this 2020 season. Then the other thing that I wanted you all to be aware of, especially for those of you that are playing in multiple leagues with FSA under the MFL umbrella, saying if you are in the redraft league, any of the dynasty leagues, and or the QB54 arm and leg league, if you go under this link here, which says links, and then you go under league links, we have created it so all of the other leagues that fall under the FSA umbrella are here. That is all of our dynasty leagues, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta, the QB54 Arm and Leg League, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and GroupMe pages, and then also the FSA 2018 season, which you can also find back under the My Leagues here as well. But this is a quick reference for you, so you don't have to leave this page. You don't have to bookmark a whole lot of other pages. It's all right here for you. If you were to click on the FSA Dynasty Alpha League, it will take you over to the Alpha League. Like you see, it's changing over right now. This is what one of the Dynasty pages looks like if you have not seen it. And then you'll go under the league links and you'll be able to see all of the other ones. The FSA 2020 is the redraft league. You'll see the other Dynasty leagues and the QB54 Arm and Leg League. What you won't see here is all of the social media links. However, if you go to the QB54 Arm and Leg League, you'll be able to go under links and then league links again. And because this page was based off of a skeleton of the redraft leagues, you'll be able to see all of those same links that are right here. And if you have not seen what the Arm and Leg League looks like, this is your snapshot of that as well. And I know that was a very long explanation, but I wanted to make sure that everybody was tracking that. So we ended up with the 72 teams in the redraft. We are doing a 6-12s. We did the breakdown for you on the map. We also did the breakdown for you on the MFL standings page. So hopefully you know what all of that looks like now. Since we just got done showing you the QB54 Arm and Leg League, we ended up with 24 teams there. So we are going to break that up into 2 12s. We do not know what the schedule is going to look like for that yet, and nor do we know what the playoffs are going to look like for that yet. Ross and I are still working on that. We're thinking about introducing what's called an Australian playoff system that's used in a lot of the Aussie leagues that are over there, real leagues that are there in the QB54 Arm and Leg League, to kind of test out what that's going to look like and how that plays out as something that we are going to try to possibly implement into the redraft league next year. So we're going to use that as our test bed. We're going to make an announcement here in a few about what the QB54 setup is going to look like as far as the draft selection show and the actual draft. And that will play into some more information that we're going to give you. However, if we're mentioning QB54 a whole lot right now and you still don't know what that is, and if you're in the QB54 league and you don't know what you're playing for, here is the commercial from QB54 so you know exactly what that is.
Play fair, play to win. Play QB54.
So, what have we done since we finally closed out membership and got our 72 members? So, we have determined the regional breakdown, which you saw tonight, and we've also determined what the playoff schedule is going to look like. Because we have 6 regions this year, we're going to take 6 teams to the World Championship, and that's going to be our 6 regional champions. Now, if you've played in any kind of sport before and you've got 6 teams in a playoff bracket, kind of gives you an odd number of teams to play with, and what you don't want is go from 6 to 3. What you want to start off with is this 4 in the first round with 2 byes to go down to 4 teams in the second round. So we had a group discussion on GroupMe earlier this week about what is or who is going to earn those byes in that first round of the playoffs. So what we have determined is record is great to figure out who's going to go into the playoffs, but probably a better picture of who is the strongest teams is going to be total points for the year. So record is going to get you into the regional championships, which is going to be a total of 4 teams, with 1 playing 4 and 2 playing 3. The 2 winners of that playing for the regional champion, and then those regional champions are going to move on to the world championship. The 2 teams that have the highest total points for the year up to that point, including both of those rounds of regional championships, are going to be the 2 teams that get the bye in the first round. So that is something that we have created and done this week. Also, we have come up with a payout structure for this year. If you don't know what that looks like, we're going to tell you right now. However, you can go under the rules page, which I probably should have showed you all where that was at on the website. And I will, as soon as I get done explaining the payout structure to you. So the payout structure is going to be $700 to the world champion. Don't forget, even though you're getting a $700 purse, on top of that, you are also getting a custom-made full-size cornhole board set from Nature Coast Tailgating with your logo brand created on it by us, along with custom bags for that board. That retails just shy of $300, so you're getting almost $1,000 in cash in product for being the world champion. On top of that, a lot of you don't know this because of the rookies that are on there right now. When you win the world championship, you also get your entry fee paid for the next year. So add $50 on top of that, which is what you would be paying for the next year, and you're already taken care of. We call it the gold card for winning it for the year. The runner-up gets $400. Our 3rd and 4th place teams, which play in the all-team bowl, will get $275 for the 3rd place team and $200 for the all-team bowl runner-up, which would be 4th place. You can go out on the rules and read a little bit more about that, and we will show you what that looks like here in a few. In fact, I'm going to pull that up right now, so whenever I switch it over to you all, you'll see it right away. Then we will also be giving $100 to the 2 teams that lose in the first round of the World Championship Bowl playoffs, because you were regional champions and made it to that point. You'll double your money. And then we will be giving $75 to the top scoring team of the entire alliance through week 16 of the NFL regular season. And this is what that looks like. We had a discussion with this the other day too, and I don't think Damian was tracking this, but I'm glad that he is now. So what we're going to end up doing is, even if you're eliminated in the first 11 weeks of the regular season and you don't have a bowl game to play in, you're not in a regional playoffs, and you're not going to have the opportunity to play in the World Championship, you still start a lineup every single week. Even though you're going to be playing against nobody, you will still accumulate points in those games. And that top scoring team goes to the team who has the most points at the end of week 16. Doesn't necessarily mean that you even made it into the playoffs or you got eliminated from the playoffs early possibly. But if you keep setting a starting lineup and your team keeps playing well, you could earn $75 for that top scoring team. Not only that, you get a ribbon for being the top scoring team as well, in case you didn't know that already. So what else did we do this week after we found out who our 72 teams were? We actually scheduled the draft selection shows and when the drafts are going to be as well. Let me go ahead and go over to the shared screen so you all can see where these rules are at. So if you're on this middle menu here, you're going to see rules, which is third from the right. You click on that, and these are all of the updated 2020 official rules for the year, which is going to have the breakdown of when the draft selection shows are and when the drafts are actually going to be. And I don't know how easy it is for you to see that. What we're going to do for the draft selection shows are, we basically broke it down for those first 3 regions that I showed you as we went through the regional process, which was the New England, Appalachian, and Great Lake Hydras region. Their draft selection shows are going to be on Saturday. All the other 3, the South Atlantic Dragons, the Gulf Coast Serpents, and the West, which is what we're claiming everybody else, will be on Sunday. Here are the times for those, and if you don't remember this, you can always go out to that rules link and find out. The New England Phoenix Draft Selection Show, which will be live on Facebook, will be at noon East Coast time, and we're breaking these up in 3-hour increments. So the Appalachian Black Bears is going to be at 3 p.m. East Coast time, and the Great Lake Hydras is going to be at 6 p.m. East Coast time. Then on Sunday, we will start that same process over with the first one up being the South Atlantic Dragons at noon East Coast time, Gulf Coast Serpents at 3 p.m. East Coast time, and then the West being at 6 p.m. East Coast time. That will give you 1 week to get prepped, knowing what your draft position is, to go out and start doing mock drafts. Then the draft will happen in that same order with slightly different time slots the following Saturday and Sunday, and you can see those right here. The drafts that will take place on Saturday the 29th is going to be New England. It's going to start at 10 o'clock a.m. East Coast time. What we ended up doing was doing those in 4-hour blocks because it's going to take a little bit more time to make those happen. New England region will be at 10 a.m. Appalachian region will be at 2 p.m. These are all East Coast time. And the Great Lakes region will be at 6 p.m. East Coast time. Then on Sunday, we will go in that same order from the draft selection show. It will be South Atlantic region at 10 o'clock East Coast time, Gulf Coast region at 2 p.m. East Coast time, and the West region at 6 p.m. East Coast time. Reason we did that, especially on Sunday, and push that time out is because as we get further and further west with our teams, which make up that region, I wanted to make sure everybody was awake and make sure that they could be there for their drafts. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns about the draft selection times or the actual draft times. Draft selection, not a big deal, because you will be able to go back and watch that if you want to know where you were picked or what position you're going to pick from. The draft, a little bit bigger of a deal. We've already had one person that's come online and says he's had a little bit of an issue being able to make his time slot, which is going to be the Saturday 29th at 2 p.m. East Coast time, and we have figured out a fix for that. So if anybody else has any issues, please let us know and we'll see what we can do for you. Let me see all of the stuff that I'm missing right here. Eric says, love the jersey colors. Might need to steal that for my squad. No, can't have it. The gold card is a nice touch. Appreciate it, Damien. So yeah, the Creek Dogs from last year is playing for free this year, and we've been doing that for quite a few years now. I think almost a decade. The team that's won plays for free the next year. Jason Bertato says, don't forget autographed memorabilia for the top 3 from an NFL team of their choice, donated from Sergeant's Helping Hands. That's awesome, brother. Appreciate it. So if you're a winner of the All-Team Bowl, if you are the winner of the World Championship Bowl, or you're the runner-up for the World Championship Bowl, you will get autographed memorabilia from NFL team of your choice from Sergeant's Helping Hands. Appreciate that, Jason. Thank you very much. Damien says he likes the idea of the scoring, keeping everybody involved for the whole season. I hope it works out well for us again this year like it did last year. Yeah, you're right, Damien. I did send this out in an email to everybody earlier today. Hopefully everybody did get that. Somebody told me it came in their spam mail. So if you did not see an email from me related to FSA updated rules, make sure you check your spam mail. It should be there. So we mentioned that the QB54 was going to have something slightly different than the rest of the drafts that we just mentioned, that both the selection shows and the drafts themselves. We will be back for our next broadcast next week on Wednesday, like normal day, but we will start the show 30 minutes earlier than normal. We're going to start at 8 p.m. East Coast time, and here's why. We are going to do the QB54 draft selection show for those 2 regions live on our show that night. And then on 2 September, which is the following Wednesday, is when we're actually going to do the QB54 Arm and Leg League drafts live during our broadcast. We're going to start that night at 8 o'clock East Coast time as well. And they will be shown right here on our OBS software across Facebook Live as we're doing those. I reached out to Frank and Mike Silva, who are the owners of QB54 today, to let them know that we were going to be doing those both separate from all of the other draft selection shows and the regular drafts, because I wanted to give them their spotlight for being our sponsor this year. So 8 o'clock for the next 2 weeks. That includes 26 August and 2 September. Make sure you're here for those. We'll still do our normal FSA broadcast at the front side of that, and then on the back side of that, we will be doing the draft selections and the draft for those arm and leg leagues. So, we've talked so much FSA stuff tonight. Let's get into some NFL news, and I have to thank the mad scientist himself, Damian Scott, for all of the news that I'm about to give you that is already in the script. And then I'm also going to pull up from my phone tonight because he has been on it, doggone it, and giving me all of the updates for this week as I have been unable to get any of the NFL news myself. So, Damian, I appreciate you. Everything you're about to hear is from him. Again, thank you. So, Alex Smith, quarterback for the Washington Football Club, has been activated from the PUP list. I think we did talk about that last week. Absolutely amazing. We're just bringing it up again because we're still in awe of that. Lions running back Kerryon Johnson has been spotted in a knee brace and not practicing. Lions signed former Bills and Colts running back Jonathan Williams. Jets rookie wide receiver Denzel Mims injured his hamstring with no timetable for a return. Jets signed former Bills and Patriots wide receiver Chris Hogan. 49ers wide receiver Jalen Hurd has suffered a torn ACL and is out for the season. The Cardinals wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins missed 2 practices and is dealing with hamstring issues, but it doesn't seem to be too serious. Browns running back Nick Chubb is being evaluated for concussion after taking a hard hit in practice. Jags tight end Josh Oliver has suffered a broken foot and will have surgery on Tuesday, which was yesterday, and is out indefinitely. Ravens are hosting former Cowboys standout wide receiver Dez Bryant for a workout. And Lions tight end TJ Hawkinson ankle is still not 100% after coming back from rehab. And we have more for you, which I'm going to pull up on my phone right now. Again, courtesy of the mad scientist. Roger Goodell is exploring bubble environments for the postseason. This one surprises me a little bit because what happens if we don't even make it to the postseason because we haven't done the bubble prior to that. But also good that they're thinking about it. Kind of taking a little bit of a clue probably for what the NBA is doing right now. Roger Goodell is also considering allowing teams to pump in crowd noise into stadiums. They're doing that in Major League Baseball right now, so I think that would be a nice touch. Running back Dalvin Cook and the Vikings have broken off contract talks. He will likely ride out this as his final year of the contract. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins has returned to practice after missing 3 days with that hamstring tightness that we just mentioned a little bit ago. Some had thought he was holding out because he is unhappy with his contract. Possibly not the case. And then Philadelphia running back Miles Sanders considered week to week with what is being disclosed as a lower body injury, but should be ready for week 1. And I saw another report that came to me today from Heather Newman that said that at least the Kansas City Chiefs are going to control the crowd that they allow in on their first game of the season, which I think a few other teams are doing the same thing. So stadiums might be playing the first couple of weeks not at full capacity. Don't know how long that's going to last, season long, or if eventually fans will be allowed to go in at full capacity. So a good story there as well. Hey, we do have a YouTube channel. We mentioned at the top of the show that we have 56 subscribers to that now. Thank you, Toby, for joining on that. If you're out there watching us right now live or later on a recorded and you're not a subscriber of our YouTube channel, go out to YouTube, type in Fantasy Sports Alliance. Please subscribe. You can shut the alerts off if you want, but we need to reach 100 subscribers so we can get a custom YouTube channel name. We have 72 people in the league this year. We should have a minimum of 72 subscribers out there right now. If you want to know what that looks like, in case you haven't been out on YouTube for a while, kind of looks like that right there. I just wanted to make sure you knew what that looked like. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media links that are down there. And like we said in the email that we sent out earlier today, if you don't already have the GroupMe app, make sure you download it. Let us know that you have it. We'll add you to the GroupMe app. I think we got 63 people in it right now, which are a few carryover members from last year as well still, so we're still missing some of you all. We do a lot of in-season and off-season chatting through that. You can always mute us if we get to be too much, which I know many of you have. But it is there for us to be able to get information to you, and even with yourself muted, I can do an @ symbol at you and you will still get that message from me. We will break that GroupMe chat room down into regions, just like we have for our Dynasty Leagues right now, and we also have one for the QB54 Arm and Leg League, so you can communicate just with your regional members if you like to, and then you also have the entire Alliance group to chat in if you would like to do that as well. So if you don't already have it, please go out and download it. Let us know that you've got it, and we'll add you to it. Let's see. Damian says numbers have been good all night as well, steady around 20. That's good. I'm also happy that we've stayed right there. I was kind of hoping that we would, especially having a lot of the new members that joined us very late as we did that last membership push over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that probably have not watched us live. Glad that I sent the reminder out to everybody on email. I'm hoping that was a lot of the people that were here. Brian says, when is the Arm and Leg League drafts? They are going to be Wednesday, September 2nd, starting at 8 o'clock. I don't know which of the two leagues that we're going to do yet because we are going to break that into two 12s, but we will do both of them on that show. Once we get those leagues broken down on the QB54 Arm and Leg League under MFL, we'll paint a better picture for you, and we will let you know what that's going to look like. But they will be on September 2nd, Brian, and your draft selection show for that will be next week on the 26th of August right here on the broadcast, and we'll do that live for everybody. So since we're speaking of QB54, we would like to thank them for being one of our sponsors this year. Thank you for being a sponsor for the Arm and Leg League for us. Going to be a great league. It's going to be an awesome prize from those guys, Frank and Mike Silva, at the end of that. So very much appreciate those guys. Thank you to Football Darts for being our broadcast sponsor. Thank you to Nature Coast Tailgating for being our World Championship Bowl sponsor this year and giving the full-size custom cornhole boards and bags to our world champion. Thank you to Finger Lakes Mercantile and Brandon Gums. Thank you for everything that you do for me, Brandon. I can't thank you enough. Between being our video editor and our website programmer and you being a bowl sponsor this year and all of the things that you're going to be able to do to us, for us, on all of our merchandise. Thank you very, very much. Next week's show that I'll make sure I go out and display the products that we talked about tonight before we went live, so I'll make sure I get an opportunity to set that up. Thank you to Cranky Veterans Crandall Company for being a sponsor with us this year, a bowl sponsor. Southern Siren Sugar Scrub, also a bowl sponsor this year. Deep South Creations, a bowl sponsor this year as well. The VRV is going to be a bowl sponsor with us this year as well. The good thing about the VRV bowl sponsor is you're not just getting something from the VRV. You are going to get a $50 voucher from the VRV to purchase anything you want from any of the members that are under the VRV. So that's going to be super awesome. We're going to get all of those details from Justin Clark before the season kicks off. So thank you to Justin from the VRV. And then, of course, thank you to the Recast and Mondo and the boys. They are our official music of Fantasy Sports Alliance. Let's see, what else did I miss out there? Any news or updates on what FSA is going to do with the IR taxi? Thank you, Damien, for asking that. So we are all concerned about COVID right now and what that's going to do for the football season. Currently, well, never has FSA ever had an IR list or IR positions for their players. However, I think with the COVID thing that's going on right now, we're going to have to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to set up 2 positions for all of the regions in the redraft. They will be taxi squad positions. They will be used for COVID players and COVID players only. It is going to be probably a little bit of a nightmare for me to keep up with that, but we will add that to your team before we get drafting 2 weeks from now. So you will have 2 taxi squad positions on your redraft leagues for COVID and COVID only players. So yes, Damien, thank you for bringing that up. Will the injury list be posted somewhere? Also, opt-outs will be huge help for the draft. So the injury list will always be showed with an I next to your player's name, even during the draft, Heather. You'll see an I on there for injury. Or let's see, what are the other designations that it shows on MFL? It used to be probable, doubtful, and out, which I think was PD and O. They will have some letter next to their name to let you know that they are injured. And that's even during the draft. It will be there. As far as the opt-outs, I don't know if there's actually going to be a list on MFL. If anybody knows that there is one, let me know, and I'll get to it and make sure everybody knows where that is at. There you go. Thank you, Chris. Q for questionable. And the C and H is being added this year as well. Brian, what was the C and H for? I forget. Please let us know. H is for the opt-out, and what is the C for? C is for COVID. Okay, so if you see those next to players, I should be able to see those as the commissioner as well. Everybody should see those in the league. Those will be the players that will be allowed to be on your taxi squad. Brian, thank you for being here tonight and for letting us know that. So that's how we'll know who needs to go on your taxi squad. And then Kevin asks, what is the mad scientist point handicap asking for a friend? I think it's 0.01. I think that's his handicap, 0.01. Only when he plays you, though, Kev. Yes. Jason, thank you for mentioning that. I owe you a picture with me holding. And it's funny, as the wife and I went to Jekyll Island this weekend, I even told her after I got your text message that I needed to do that. She needed to take the picture for me. And we just haven't done it yet. So everybody's tracking. So yes, taxi squad, 2 spots will be used for COVID-only players. COVID is going to be the code that will be on there for them, and the H will be your for your opt-out players. But I think that there are plenty of lists out there, Heather. If you go Google or go into any of these fantasy football sites out there and find a list, I'm sure that they are there. Yeah, Doug, you are back in the Great Lakes region where you belong. We were able to get you back since you're there in Ohio where you actually belong. So good. I'm glad you're back listening as well. I'm going to open it up. Daggone, we've been sitting here for 52 minutes now. I'm going to sit back and see if there are any more questions for the next couple of minutes that I need to answer for you, because that pretty much takes care of the show for the night. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I hope a lot of good information was put out. For those that are watching this on replay, please let me know if you have any questions about anything that I mentioned in tonight's show. Put them in the comment section of this. I will come back around and answer your questions either in the comment section, or we'll send you a direct message, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram if I'm following you over there, Twitter possibly, if you're in the group me, if I have your telephone number, email, some way I will reach out to you and give you your answer if you have a question. Damien says, I heard if Kevin can't make the draft, that he will have to auto draft Andrew Luck first round. Well, It's probably too soon to bring that up, Damian, because of what happened last year, because Andrew Luck retired so close to draft times for a lot of leagues that the MFL still hadn't pulled him off of the draftable player list. And in every single one of our regions last year, which was 8 regions, the teams that ended up auto-drafting, every single one of them ended up with Andrew Luck. And what's crazy is I'm pretty sure, I'd have to go back and look at the draft again, but the guy that ended up winning the World Championship last year, the Creek Dogs, was one of the guys that got auto-drafted, Andrew Luck. Worked his whole team for the whole year and was able to win the World Championship. So even if Kevin gets auto-drafted, somebody crazy, it's still possible for you to come all the way back and win that World Champion. Oh, hey, since we're talking about the World Championship, and I showed you all the ribbons tonight, I want to do one more thing in the standings, and I'm looking for suggestions from you all. If you go out and you look at the rules, you see at the end of the year, we award the top scoring team of the year, the rookie general manager of the year, the general manager of the year, all with awards, and they have their own ribbons as well. To make it easier for everybody to identify who the rookies are with FSA this year, I wanted to do something with their avatar on the standings page to show that they are a rookie. A couple of the ideas that I had, well, really the only one idea that I've had so far that stuck, was putting a green box around their avatar to show that they are a rookie. And the reason we were going to do rookie is they always say rookies are the greenhorns, and our rookie of the year, rookie general manager of the year ribbon is also green and white, and those are the only 2 colors in it. And I wanted to see what everybody thought about that, and if you have any additional or other ideas to use to identify the rookies on the standings page, I would appreciate that. Because if you go out and look at the rules, the rookies are the ones that vote for the rookie general manager of the year. And then all of the legacy players are the ones that nominate the general manager of the year. Top scoring team, of course, is too easy. Whoever has the most points by the end of week 16, even if you've been eliminated from the playoffs, continue adding or putting a starting lineup there for the possibility of winning that and money. And then if you also read further down, you saw the purple ribbons tonight that we've awarded for Hall of Fame members. We also have that Hall of Fame voting process that we do at the end of the year. And you can actually go out to the rules page right now and see the list and the dates of when we're going to do all of those things. So if you have an idea of how we should mark the rookies this year, please let me know. I'm open for suggestions. Chris Simpson says, just make me manager of the year. Yellow sticker on their bumper. Please tell me what the yellow sticker on their bumper means. And Chris Simpson says, R at the end of their name. That's not a bad idea, Chris. That's probably... That's pretty smart, because we do the same thing with fantasy players when they're rookies. If we have that option turned on NFL, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Doug says, how do those people on this show feel about the variation of play, not playing and might be playing in high school, college, and what could be NFL? Doug, I'm wondering if you're asking about the differences between certain conferences playing this year in the NCAA and others not playing. As of right now, we still have a couple conferences that are going to play. That was the actual tweet that Ross put out earlier, and then I retweeted. If you get a chance to go out and watch it, super funny, but I see where you're coming from. Damien says, I want to say, with so many new members, make sure you go over the scoring system. FSA has a few unique scores. Damien, I appreciate that, because I know you saw in there the negative 1 point for the per sack against the quarterback. That has been a stat that we've had for a couple of years, and it bounces around between a half a point and a full point, depending on what some of the other scoring categories look like for us. This year is the first year that we are doing tight end premium. First year we're doing super flex, and first year we are doing a half a point per first down, but the half a point for the first down is only applied to rushing first downs and receiving first downs, not to passing first downs. So those are 3 brand new things to us. So yes, please go out and read those rules really, really close. We also picked up a defensive scoring system last year. Thank you to Bob Reddick, which is one of our members. He's the Wildcats out in the Central region, and his scoring system that he uses in the leagues that he commissions. And I thought it was a great idea. We went ahead and used it again in 2020, and we'll probably continue using that based on the averages that Bob keeps over the last 3 years for amount of scoring against defense. So that fluctuates that scoring anywhere between a half and 1 point every year. Great system. Make sure you go out and look at that as well. Kevin says, can a rookie win both General Managers of the Year award? No, we separate those two. We do let the rookies get a Rookie General Manager of the Year and the regular player get the General Manager of the Year. So it is kept as two separate awards. That's a very good question, though. Never really thought about doing it as a combined award if they were that good. Let's say a rookie came all the way in and won both of them. No, we'd still keep that separate for everybody. Let's see. Doug says, our Pickerington High School Central plays Pickerington High School North play August 30th on ESPN, two powerhouses in Ohio. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I get ESPN here. We got rid of our liver cable, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch. But make sure you remind us. That's on Sunday, right? That is the night of, there are 3 Southwestern regions, so that would be interesting to watch. I definitely would watch that. You're still living in Pickerington, right, too, Doug? That's home for you, right? Or at least home now. Chris says, boo for defense and kickers. Hey, it could be worse. We could be running a fullback in IDP league like we had titled on our show a week or so ago. We could be doing that. So let me know what you all think about the green square around the rookies. Let me know what you think about the R at the end of the name. Chris, the only reason that I might question the R at the end of the name is because the way that we are doing the power rankings this year, which is also a very good point that I need to bring up on next week's show, is how we're doing the power rankings this year, because it is different than the way we did it last year. It is going to take a little bit more work and effort on my side. It is a borrowed concept from Ross Norris from the NCFF League. I really enjoyed watching myself have a good year in his league last year and watching my power rankings fluctuate and kind of pre-calculating what it was going to be based on how I was going to do against that player that next week. And it really does award quality wins a whole lot more than the power ranking system was that we used last year, meaning if you're one of those teams that is floating around the 500 level and you beat a team that's maybe undefeated, only has 1 loss when you beat them, that win is worth more than if you were playing against somebody who was closer to O in something. And I thought that was a great concept that we needed to adopt. Does take a little bit more effort on my part to make sure that those power rankings are done. I figured with a 96 team league, it was going to probably take me 45 minutes to an hour each week to do those. Now that we only have 72 teams, might be a little bit less, but I think it is going to be really good for us to have those on there. When the arm and leg draft, if it's the 30th, I may be auto drafting. No, Chris, the arm and leg, guys, I know you came in a little bit late. We are actually going to do the draft selection show for the arm and leg league next week, Wednesday, on the broadcast live. We are going to go live earlier than normal. We will be live starting at 8 o'clock for the next 2 weeks. That will be the draft selection show, so it will be separate from all of the other draft selection shows. And then on 2 September, the following Wednesday, starting at 8 o'clock again, earlier than normal, we are going to do the Arm and Leg League drafts live. We will do a shared screen so everybody can see what it's looking like on MFL, and we will do that during the broadcast. Wanted to make sure that QB54 got their due diligence, and I already reached out to Frank and Mike, the creators of QB54, and let them know that we're going to be doing that for them. So I'm hoping I'm going to invite one or both to both the draft selection show and the drafts and hope they show up. So that'd be super cool. Eric is asking, can you stream that game on ESPN Plus? I'm not sure. I'm hoping that Doug will be able to answer that question for us. Yeah, so Damien says FSA is a unique league, so we need to come up with a unique way to show off who are our rookies. Yeah, Chris says he might still be in the hospital, so he might be auto-drafting on the kicker and quarterback league for us. Chris, I hope that your surgery goes well after we talked about that earlier today. Good luck with that. Yeah, and if you're auto-drafted, you're auto-drafted. You're going to end up with a couple of kickers and a couple of quarterbacks, and you didn't want kickers anyway, so we'll see what kind of team you end up with. Let's hope that the MFL AI is smart enough to make sure that you get at least one of those positions, whether it's one quarterback or one kicker and 3 of the other, and hope you don't get top-loaded with 4 all out of one position. That could hurt you a little bit as you're going into the season. Yeah, Damien, let me know if you have any ideas as well. And thank you for all of the information that you gave to me to roll out with today as the mad scientist. I really appreciate that. You know what? You say you're going to end up with all kickers. That'll be worse than the operation pain. I almost, in a jokingly manner, hope that happens. I hope you end up with 4 kickers during your auto draft. That would be poetic. I would like that a lot. All right, y'all. Hour and 3 minutes, probably the longest show that we've done, at least in a couple of seasons. Got to get off of here. My throat's starting to go dry. I got to wake up again at 3:45 tomorrow to go into work. Been like that every day this week. Going to be miserable. Not enough energy drinks to keep me going through the day. You all keep me going through the day, though, so I appreciate you. Hit me up on GroupMe. Make sure you go out over on YouTube and subscribe to us over there. Share this broadcast tonight so we can get a whole lot more views. And then keep an eye out on your emails as we do more and more updates for you all, and you will see them there. And until next week, and don't forget, next week, 26 August, we will start in 30 minutes earlier. We will start at 8 p.m. East Coast time, as we will do our normal part at the beginning of the show, and then we will do the QB54 arm and leg draft selection shows at the end of the show. So we hope to see you there. We will see you all online this weekend for your respective region's draft selection shows, so make sure that you are there for that. If you've never seen what those look like, please go back here on Facebook or YouTube and see what any of the Dynasty draft selection shows look like, and you're going to see something very similar on Saturday and Sunday for your draft selection show, so you have an idea of what it's going to look like. And then we will see you during your time blocks. Make sure you go out and read the rules and know when that's going to be. Would it be possible to change the color of the actual name? Yes, Kevin. I had thought about that as well. Thought about changing the names for the rookies to green. Last year, the New England region, we changed the names of the teams to match their brand because we wanted it to be a little bit more branded for those teams. We only did it for the New England region. We asked all of the other regions if they wanted it done for them as well. Nobody said anything, so we kept it just as the New England region all year. But that is a thought that we could do those names in green to show that they are rookies. So that's a possibility. Green font for rookie, gold for world champs, purple for Hall of Fame. You know, that's not a bad idea either. In addition to the ribbons that are already there, that might be a quick way to identify them. I think the only problem might be with that, when we do change the color of the team names, we use HTML tags around it to change that color. I don't know what that looks like when you actually pull up MFL Premium as the app on your phone. What we might do is we might test that out this weekend as I'm working on logos for everybody else. By the way, I owe 13 more teams logos. I got about 4 of those that are ready to go. We just got to get the right color selection, the right size, and post them up on the page. So we will be working on those tomorrow, Friday, and before we go into the draft selection shows on Saturday. If you happen to be one of the teams that's later on Saturday or on Sunday, we might be doing those that are earlier on Saturday, logos first, even if you were already in the queue to have yours done, just to make sure that we've got them ready for the draft selection show. If we've already got a decision of what your logo is going to look like, I'll make sure I have that done Thursday and Friday for you. We are now been on for an hour and 8 minutes. It is time to go. You all have a great night, and we will see you on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.